way, kicked off Good Morning Britain for saying that Tommy Robinson was the new Nelson Mandela. Errol Musk joins us. Errol, look, I think I can, in my mind, imagine why you said it, but why don't you just lay out the case for Tommy Robinson being the new Nelson Mandela?
Well, thank you very much. Yes. No, what I said was that many leaders in the modern world and even in the past few hundred years were at some time imprisoned by the opposition. So yes. In this case, you have the same thing. You have Tommy Robinson, who's been imprisoned on sort of very, very flimsy reasons and placed in solitary confinement. So in that respect, he's very similar to someone like Nelson Mandela, who was in fact a vastly more prolific scoundrel in his day than Tommy Robinson ever would have been, you know?
They don't always turn out good. Look at Adolf Hitler. He went to prison and it just things went downhill from there, didn't they, with him? So I'm not comparing anyone to him, though, like some people do.
Yeah, so did Mussolini, so did Ho Chi Minh, so did Nehru. And you can just go on and on and on.
Some of them turn out all right, some don't.
Errol, is your view fundamentally, and it appears to be the view of Elon, that that Tommy Robinson fundamentally is a political prisoner, and what you are interested in is what he's saying, the claims he's making? Because one thing I will say to you, Errol, that annoys me, when people go, do you know about Tommy Robinson? Yes, I know everything about him. I know his job, I know what convictions he's had, I know everything other than whether he's right or wrong. That's the one study that we're unwilling to do. Is that roughly your view?
Well, you know, I mean, Tommy Robinson is well known for having drawn attention to the gang rape gangs. So I think in that respect, he's done a great job.
In fact, Elon picked it up from him, didn't he? He basically picked it up from Tommy Robinson, and Elon tweeted it out, and it became this furore. So it came from him originally.
Yes, possibly. All I know is that from what I can see, and I'm not stupid, I've been around a long time, you know, this Tommy Robinson deserves a proper hearing. He needs to be released. He's a political prisoner and he needs to be released. And there needs to be a proper, non-partisan, independent inquiry that must come up with results in about 4 weeks. Within 4, maybe 6 weeks, a complete explanation of this gang rape, gang stuff.
Well, that's the main thing, isn't it? People are deflecting by going on about Tommy Robinson or Jess Phillips. And forget all that. There's girls being raped and tortured right now. I think they should forget an investigation and just go and all police forces should set out a task force and rescue the girls and then have the investigation who's to blame, because it's a national emergency.
Yes, having an inquiry is a national emergency right now. This is not a joke. This is not something that you can shelve and ask some silly commission to come up with an answer in 5 years' time. No, no, no. People want to know now. Everyone wants to know now. And it's not only, you know, I've been asked, what's it got to do with me? I'm an Englishman. I live in one of the far-flung regions of the world that England created. My family live in England. We are all children of England. England helped us when we were battling, and it's now our turn to turn back and see what we can do to help England.
Errol, you know, yesterday, and this is a sad thing, the United Arab Emirates put 11 people living in Britain onto their terror watch list, and there are 8 British organisations now that are prescribed terrorist organisations. Errol, I just want you to talk, not necessarily as yourself, not as Elon Musk's father, but just as somebody who is English by sort of history and heritage.
Your mother was from Liverpool, wasn't she?
About the fact that we now have a serious Islamic nation claiming that we are harbouring jihadists that are a threat to their national security. How on earth is this viewed amongst the people that you talk to?
No, I mean, it's absolutely shocking. You know, I mean, you know, this is not England. England is the place we look to for example. You know, if we don't know what to do, we say, what would England do? You know, when I say England, I mean the 4 places in England. You know? I mean, yes, we now have England being taught lessons by other somewhat lesser countries, if you ask me.
Yes.
You know?
Why has that happened, do you think? What, is it because, you know, we haven't had any major wars and we've gone all soft, and when you become soft, you sort of become liberal?
Well, there's a certain amount of truth in that. On the other hand, you know, the direction in England has always been to give everybody a break, try and give everybody a chance. It's always been like that. And it's perhaps gone a little too far, maybe a little too far. But, you know, in my opinion, the English way has always been the right way. So we need to simply have a proper investigation into this incredible stuff.
So Errol, let me ask you this. I've never spoken to you before, but obviously I think that anyone in my position who's a Conservative commentator will have a great deal of respect for what your son's done, not just on the Tommy Robinson thing, not just on both encouraging Farage and having a go at him when he disagreed with him, both of which I think were useful, if I'm being honest, but also the purchase of Twitter. What is he up to? Because we're hearing today that he is absolutely desperate to assist the Brits in this, probably for the same reasons that you do, and is now in discussions potentially to assist the removal of Keir Starmer. What's your take on that?
Yes, I completely agree with my son. Completely, totally agree with him. But you must remember, it's just that he's a very outstanding individual, and as a result, people can hear what he says. But many, many people, hundreds of thousands, possibly millions, are saying the same thing as Elon. It's not just Elon. It's just that Elon is more visible, you know.
And he shoots from the hip, doesn't he? When he thinks something, it's the same with his businesses, and it's why he's been successful in the rockets and everything. It's because when he thinks something, he's sort of he'll go for it. And, you know, maybe the Jess Phillips tweet was a bit, you know, heavy-handed, but he's made a point, and the important thing is to find these girls and look into what happened, and he's been the catalyst for that.
Yes, no, he doesn't play around. One thing I can say about my son, he doesn't mess around. So you can take him at his word. He thinks very carefully before he says anything. He doesn't just come up with stuff, you know, from the hip. He really does think about it before he says something.
But then he goes for it, doesn't he? He's very one-directional. If he thinks he's a conviction politician, he will be, I suppose, in a month.
Yes, no, you can bank on Elon. You know, what he says you can take to the bank. He's just one of those type of people you can do that about.
Can I ask you this question about him? Right, this is a bizarre question to ask about one of the richest and probably one of the most powerful people in the world. But I will tell you, in recent years, seeing big businessmen, seeing powerful people actually advocate for ordinary people is really weird. Right, you know, obviously we've all got this World Economic Forum, we've got the subversion of democracy. You know, does he have any friends in the billionaire class? Because it seems to me that all the rest of them are just having got to a position of power, they've now booted that opportunity out the way for everybody else.
No, he has many, many friends in the billionaire class. Many, many friends. Some of them he's made billionaires. So, yeah, he has many, many friends. Don't worry about that.
He's an inventor rather than, you know, his great invention and pioneering is what makes him a great businessman. He's not really a businessman. He's an inventor and a visionary, isn't he? And that's what makes him the billions.
Absolutely correct.
Where do you see this going next with Elon and Tommy Robinson? I mean, Tommy Robinson has colossal legal fees. I mean, the $100 million donation to reform looks like it's not going to happen. Will he be financially supporting Tommy Robinson?
I can't say. I don't see why not. Tommy Robinson shouldn't be in a position where, because of lack of funds, he can't do anything. You need to give him a chance. Tommy Robinson, to us, shows strength. He shows manliness. We don't see that anywhere else. I was the first person to say last week, I think it was, that Nigel Farage, to me, doesn't project strength. He talks sense, but you need a strong man to do what is necessary in England right now.
Would you back Tommy Robinson for Parliament?
Yes, absolutely.
You said he'd be Prime Minister, I think I saw you saying, that Tommy Robinson will be Prime Minister. Didn't you say that once?
Yes. You know, history teaches you that it's people like Tommy Robinson that will in due course be the Prime Minister of your country.
Wow. Okay, well, look, Errol,
and on that bombshell,
Errol, I don't know what more to say, but I will say one thing. You know, it's really lovely to hear somebody who has a background from the United Kingdom to speak so glowingly about us. And do you know what? Well, the amazing thing is to think that our friends in America, our friends in Australia, our friends in South Africa, New Zealand, all of these places are rallying round us at a difficult time because, as you know, uncontrolled immigration has done significant harm to this country. But it's good to know that we've got people that will help us with that fight back.
Well, Errol looks up to us, don't you? Because we're Englishmen. You look up to us when we came to South Africa in our suits and our monocles.
Yes, of course. No, we are all English people, you know. Let's get real.
Yeah, man.
Okay, thank you so much. That is Errol Musk. Well, he is the father of Elon Musk, but I have to say, also a phenomenon in of himself. By the way, I just have to say, I think that is a real bombshell, the confirmation that Elon Musk will consider giving money to financially support Tommy Robinson, and also that they, as a family, believe that he's the right man to be Prime Minister. I think that's a phenomenal thing. So thank you so much for Errol coming on.